Good morning, fellow crypto enthusiasts. I wanted to create a quick video discussing some of the tools that are available at rest.bitcoin.com and developerbitcoin.com, particularly our Bitbox JavaScript library, but mostly the REST API. As a developer advocate for Bitcoin.com, I frequently interact with CEOs and CTOs, and I'm constantly trying to outreach to new developers and onboard them and just make them aware of some of the tools that we have to offer. And so this video is a very quick, very high-level overview of some of those tools. So if you are a small business owner, a CEO, a CTO, or just a potential hobbyist or professional developer who's interested in cryptocurrencies, interested in Bitcoin, and wants to see what tools are available to capitalize on this new paradigm, let me walk you through some of these very high-level tools to create new wallets, accept transactions, mostly in like web applications and mobile applications. So on mobile phones, but generally website. Think about anything that you would use PayPal for, you can now use Bitcoin Cash for. And these tools that I'm going to show you are how you would do that. So I have an outline. So like I said, the audience for this video is really CEOs and CTOs, developers, and just basically normal people. And the place to start is with rest.bitcoin.com. Let me just show you that in a web browser. So if you go to rest.bitcoin.com and pull it up in a web browser, what this is it's a series of REST API endpoints. And REST is a web standard that lets two computers talk to one another and pass information back and forth. So don't get bogged down by that terminology. REST is just a very standard information exchange format, and every programming language can do that. And that's the power of this website. Is it doesn't matter what your software is written in, whether it's Java or Python or PHP or JavaScript. It doesn't matter. They can all make REST API calls, and that's the power. And so rather than focus on these endpoints, I'll encourage you to go here and play with them. You can go to any of these endpoints, click on them, click on the try it out button, click on the execute button, and it'll actually make a live call and show you actual data coming back. But to stick with the theme of a high level, let me show you this diagram. This is what's really going on. So rest.bitcoin.com is the REST API I've been talking about, and that's the website I just showed you. And what it's doing behind the scenes is it's talking to a Bitcoin Cash full node. It's also talking to a piece of software called an Insight API, and this provides more analytic data than you can just get straight from a full node. And then it also talks to BitDB, which is a new technology that's very similar to Insight API and may replace it someday, but that's not for certain. What is certain is that it's gotten popular enough that we've decided to support it. And then we will add new tools as they come about in the industry. But what rest.bitcoin.com provides is a REST API for any programming language to talk to that can then, through that web service, talk to all these other services and these growing array of services. So it consolidates everything and makes everything easier for developers and for businesses. And that's really the value add that rest.bitcoin provides. Plus, if in the spirit of permissionless development and decentralization, all of this software is open source. Everything I'm talking about today is up on GitHub, and the code can be viewed and download and run independently. And then there's the Bitbox JavaScript SDK. Now, REST works with any programming language. But if you're a JavaScript developer, we provide a Bitbox, which is a toolkit or a single library that you can import into your JavaScript programs and interact with REST through that. And so it's a little more of a native experience if you're a JavaScript developer. And you get access to everything available on REST, plus a whole bunch of other very useful tools. And so let's go back to the outline. So that's basically REST, and I've basically explained that. So that's really the gist of the most important thing that I have to talk about today is this focus on REST, how it works with every programming language, and it's the quickest way to get up and running. Now, there are some very exciting new developments that we at Bitcoin.com are building on top of, and one of them, but before I get into that, let me show you developer.bitcoin.com. This is the other place you should be going. So rest.bitcoin.com is where you should be sending your developers and having them. That's where they should start scratching the surface. The other area, particularly if you're a CEO or a CTO or just someone who is enthusiastic about cryptocurrencies and wants to learn more about what is happening and what is going to happen in the future, you want to go to developer.bitcoin.com. Even if you're not a developer, this learn button here, you want to click on that. And this Mastering Bitcoin Cash. This is actually forked from Andreas Antonopoulos' edition of Mastering Bitcoin, and it's been customized for Bitcoin Cash. This is our go-to technical reference. Anybody who wants to have a technical discussion about Bitcoin Cash, what's going on, how it works, this is the reference that everybody should be using. This is the first place you should go, and probably the first place you should start any technical discussion. And so I can't emphasize enough the value of this, particularly from a high level. If you want to, if you're in a discussion with someone about how Bitcoin actually works, this is where you want to go to actually find the answer. The other big thing to focus on here are these buttons right here: Bitbox SDK, SLP SDK, and Badger SDK. These are the new hot technologies that I mentioned earlier, and it might be easier to see them in a diagram. Now, SLP SDK is just Bitbox, but it's Bitbox plus the ability to work with tokens. So I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've heard of ERC20 tokens and Ethereum, and just all the amazing value that has been created with tokens on that platform. They now exist on Bitcoin Cash, and you can create tokens very easily. We have this new SLP SDK. It's also a JavaScript toolbox, and it also communicates with REST. It has everything that Bitbox has, plus the ability to work with tokens. And then also, we have Badger Wallet. And Badger Wallet is a browser extension. It works with Chrome and it works with Firefox. It also works with Tor browser and it works with Brave browser. And if you are coming from the Ethereum world, you would be familiar with MetaMask. And Badger Wallet is a fork of MetaMask. So the user experience is the same. But if you want to build a killer app that replaces PayPal, Badger Wallet is what you want to look into. It allows very quick, seamless payments over the web using either Bitcoin Cash or tokens. And if you are creating a shopping cart or some e-commerce ability or anything, any service or product you want to sell over the internet, you need to look at Badger Wallet and figure out how to integrate the buttons. It's very easy, and start replacing those PayPal buttons with Badger buttons. And that will get you away from those centralized services that can deplatform you, and instead you'll be running independently with no third party between you and your customer. Okay, so that's the basic overview. That's it. Like I said, start with rest.bitcoin.com or developer.bitcoin.com. Those are the places to start. Feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is trout@bitcoin.com, and or you can also find me on Twitter at Chris Troutner, and I would love to talk with more developers, and if you have any questions to help you walk through anything you need to know.